All right, welcome to the Tinus AD YouTube channel. People try to say that as one word, but it's actually Tinus AD. Comes from my primary profession. It's actually the initials of a client, but I'll get into that later, another time. This video is just going to be a basic brief tour of my cellar workshop. I do most of the work down here on my KTM Super Duke and some smaller side jobs on dirt bikes and other motorcycles. Primary work on bigger vehicles gets done at a two-car garage at my parents' shop, where a lot of the heavier duty equipment like arc welders, MIG welders, torches, and air tools are located. But this is going to be a brief tour of my shitty little basement workshop, my Mantown, and you know, basically, I don't know, just a little insight into what I use to work on my bike and what I have. Nothing impressive, certainly nothing of quality, but it gets the work done. So yeah, this is going to be a brief tour. If you like the video, cool, hit the like button. If you hate it, hit the thumbs down. Tell me why. If you want to see more of this shit, hit subscribe. I certainly appreciate it. I'm very new to YouTube. I got a whopping 25 subscribers, and I think I'm cool. I'm not, but I'm trying to get better. So let me know what you think of this upcoming video of a brief little tour, and thanks a lot. Give a quick video of some of my favorite tools down in my small Mantown style cellar workshop. Nothing fancy, nothing all that big. I don't do any of my side jobs down here on vehicles. Mostly this is my man cave to work on the Super Duke and smaller motorcycle side repair or customization work. Again, very small, nothing impressive. Whiskey bottles, I'll show you those later, some cabinets. But some of my favorite tools, just a brief overview, are mostly from Motion Pro. I got the Motion Pro folding sag scale, which is basically a hinged ruler which helps set sag on bikes. Do you really need it? No, you don't, but it certainly makes things easier. It's a little bit more trick looking, a little bit more precise than a tape measure. But you don't need it, but it comes in handy. One thing that, you really do need is some of these Motion Pro ratcheting T-handles. High quality, and they make the work quicker, faster. I've only had these about a year or two, and I go to admit, they really are a lifesaver. So if you guys got these, you know how great they are. If you have other T-handles that aren't ratcheting, try picking up a set of these. They're pretty cool. Next up is a Mac torque wrench, and it's a huge one. I mostly use it to do the KTM axle nuts and some of the suspension nuts, but it doesn't really go down below, I think, 25 foot-pounds, so I really need to invest in a better inch-pound wrench. I get a cheaper little Sears one that goes down to about 5 pounds over here, but I need to get a better torque wrench, inch-pound wrench. But this one certainly is old. It's at least 20, 25 years old. It used to be my father's. Bought it for him for a Christmas present. He used to work on big rigs for his whole life, heavy equipment. So that really came in handy. Having a good torque wrench is vital. And like I said, it's probably the oldest tool I have down here, and it's certainly one of the most expensive tools. But, with torque wrench, you want quality. When you got critical fasteners that need the, torque really precise, that'll give it to you. And lastly, again, a very simple tool from Motion Pro. It's a spring installer, and it helps you put on springs. I use it for exhaust springs. Back when I was a teenager, I used to ride and work on a lot of Yamaha Banshees, 250 4-track Rs from Honda, and a lot of the Toomey and LRD and Pro Circuit exhaust pipes for those two-strokes were two-piece expansion chambers, and you had to install a lot of the exhaust springs. Back in those days, cheap, no resources, no nothing, I'd take a studding nail or a roofing nail, bend the tip of it, and crimp it between some vice grips and use that. And it got by, but certainly busted a lot of knuckles and put a lot of scratches on exhaust. This tool makes it very simple. Big handle, very sturdy, no flex, strong tip on it, works great. A couple weeks ago, I used it to install the springs on my Austin Racing new exhaust system. That's the RS22. It makes installing these springs very, very easy. These springs basically keep the exhaust tight. Got some more down on the bottom, and with that tool, makes it very, very, very simple. So yeah, this is my workshop. It's in my cellar. It's basically a Mantown. That's what I use to mostly, it's the area that I use to work on the Super Duke. If I were to do some bigger repairs or some more extensive stuff to it, I'd probably bring it to the 2-car garage where, like I said, I have more of the heavier duty equipment, a lot more odds and ends. But down here I got the tools exactly that I need for working on this and some other motorcycle stuff, but certainly nothing crazy down here. I'm sure a lot of you got a hell of a lot better workshop, better space, but this little Mantown does it for me. Over here I got my empty whiskey bottles. Maybe next week I'll give you a drunken recap of what I thought was really good and what was really horrible. These are some of my cabinets where I put all the aftermarket equipment stickers on. I don't like putting them on the bike, only a couple, and I don't like to put them in areas that are seen. To me, I think it looks cheap and tacky, but I put them on my cabinets down here. I think it looks cool. Anyways, some cleaning supplies, some paint from Colorite, 2002 Gixxer 1000 exhaust that I'll be chopping down for some stupid unknown reason. Some Nitco and Nitpro Allen sockets. Same brand Torque sockets, which are invaluable when working on the Super Duke. Got a ton of those. And a very, very cheap John Force Racing collectible socket set. Does what I need down here. Nothing fancy. I believe this set still has the 8mm and 13mm sockets. But yeah, these the tools laid out right here. These are some of my favorite tools. Motion Pro makes some excellent stuff. And you know, those T-handles really make your life easier. And having a proper torque wrench, not a Harbor Freight special. I mean, I think that's very critical if you're doing a lot of work. Especially if you're going to be torquing that nut, a 60mm nut, to, you know, over 180 foot-pounds. It's difficult, and you want something that's really precise. So you pair up this cheap $60mm socket with that torque wrench, and you're able to apply the right foot-pounds of torque in the right manner. Now, obviously I would never use that to take the nut off, because I think it fucks with the calibration, but certainly torquing it to spec, this old Mac wrench does the job. So, I hope you liked the video. I'm buying some tools, some camera equipment in the future to make these videos better. As mentioned with the spring installation tools, having the right tool can make the job a hell of a lot easier, hell of a lot better, and a hell of a lot quicker. So I plan on buying a gimbal, a GoPro. I already have a DSLR for video and a camera tripod, so I'm going to try to mess around with these videos and make them better, make them somewhat more interesting. But I thought maybe some of you would like to see the workshop where I do most of my KTM work on that little fella right there. At some point I'll give you a small tour of the 2-car garage. It's got a lot of old tools in it. It looks like an old shop. It's not fancy. It's got an oil stain, cracked concrete floor, no sheetrock. It's old looking, but I've done some amazing things in that garage, from engine and training installs. I mean, numerous engine installs into vehicles, to some chassis work, some welding work, anything. We've done it all in that garage. But this is my cellar garage. This is where I live. This is where I work. And I hope you guys liked the video. If you liked it, cool, hit the like button. If you hated it, certainly hit the thumbs down button, but take a second, let me know why. Let me know how you'd fix it. And if you want to see more of these videos, please hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good day.